Hi everyone, this is Jan Romano. I'm going to go through just a little bit about LinkedIn today for you. This is the new interface of 2017. You should all have it by now. You can tell because your picture is in a circle and there is an all-star status down here on the left now instead of on the right where we used to have a circle that said all-star. We will go through from top to bottom just a little bit and want to start off with, of course, the photo. The photo is very important. That photo needs to be a picture of you, professional headshot. You don't have to have it taken professionally. You can take it with a smartphone and just email it to yourself. Don't take a selfie though, that's not a good idea. But it should be the person who would walk in for an interview today, so it should be a current photo of yourself. Your name, of course, is underneath that, and I'll show you where you put your name in, but your name is important, of course. The next thing is a headline. That headline is very important, and I want you to notice that I used LinkedIn Trainer, Microsoft Office Instructor, and Career Skills Facilitator, which is what I do. Yes, I can be called a trainer, an instructor, or facilitator, and so I want to make sure that anyone who is looking for one of those on LinkedIn will be able to find me. So I start right off using those keywords. But this right here is a little boring, and I could make it a little bit more interesting. Let me give you an idea. Watch when I click this pen right here. I'll click the pen, and up will come a different screen where I'm able to use this pen in order to add a photo. I'm able to put my name right here in these boxes, and this right here is where I would put my LinkedIn headline. I have about 120 characters, and that does include spaces. I do want it to describe who I am and what I do professionally. I also want to maybe say how the viewer would be benefited by hiring me. I don't want to say that I'm job seeking, but I do want to include some keywords and a job title that would be understanding to whoever's looking at this. And I'll give you an example. Maybe I would be a fundraiser. Maybe I'm a fundraiser consultant who helps major nonprofits raise more money. So it's just not who you are, but maybe what you'll do as well. If you do have more than one role or job, you do want to try to create a central theme or a focus on one role. You want to be known for that one thing. You do want to avoid positioning yourself as kind of like a jack of all trades, and then you kind of look like a master of none. So the headline is very important. It's the one line that an employer will read, and you do want, in a sense, to have somebody want to know more just from reading that headline. As we come down, you'll see that there's a place to put a current position, education, country, a location, so a zip code. A summary is right here, and this summary is what I would like to talk about next. I don't ever recommend that you type the summary in this box until you've actually maybe gone to Microsoft Word and typed it there. When you type it in Word, you have the ability, of course, to spell check it, to move things around, print it. That way there are a couple of people, maybe that one person that you know well, and maybe one person that you might have met at a career center can read it and get a general idea of who you are and be a little bit more objective, and then some people you want to be a little subjective with it and read your summary. Now your summary should basically be, and I'm just going to come down here first and close out so that you can see my summary here. These are several paragraphs right here in this section right here that I've written, and you have about 1,200 plus characters that are available to you to tell your story. And your story should be in your own words. And your story is who you are professionally. You do want to take the opportunity to showcase who you are as a professional and what makes you interesting and memorable and extraordinary. Your summary really should tell people how you would add value. Maybe you just go beyond listing. Some people just list what they've done or what skills they have. You want to write this in a conversational tone. You do want to start with I's. Notice I start with, I will teach you how to use social media. Notice I come down and I use my past corporate training, and my class list includes, and I am very passionate about. Notice I use those terms, the I's, the me's, the my's. That's a conversational tone. You also want to think about who's going to be reading this. you want to think about who is your audience. You know, will it be a recruiter, an employer, somebody who needs your talents, maybe a potential customer that you're trying to reach? Who are you trying to attract? And think about that when you're writing this as well. I do want you to think about that LinkedIn is your marketing document that markets you. It promotes who you are professionally and your strengths and your talents. And then think about your audience and what does your audience need to know about you, and tell them what they need to know. I do like to finish it off with some sort of an engaging sentence. Notice I put contact me, and I also put my email address. You know, you might want to put, I read this online, I'm always looking for a new problem to solve. So if you've got a doozy that you need help with, feel free to contact me directly, and then that person puts their email. So it's a good idea to as the employer, let's say, reads this, they immediately know how to contact you. So that's a great idea. So as we continue down, we'll talk about some of these other things that you might see as I scroll. For example, how to add in some documentation to add to your credibility, and how to add in a video, and that will be for another broadcast that we'll do. But as I keep coming down, notice it says the All-Star Profile Strength. And you could be a beginner, you could be intermediate or advanced, and it really depends on how many things that you've done on your LinkedIn profile. And I'm trying to go over each one of those in a quick way so that you have a general idea of what you need to accomplish. So if you do all of those, you will become an all-star, which actually gives you more status on LinkedIn. If somebody's looking for, in my case, a LinkedIn trainer or Microsoft Office instructor, I will be closer to the top of the list in their search if they search for me, since I am an all-star. Well, let's keep coming down and let's take a look at the work experience. What do you put on your resume? They suggest 10 to 15 years. Go back on your resume, so that's what I'm going to do here on my LinkedIn profile. And I put 3 positions, and I actually go back a little bit more, which I probably should change, but notice corporate trainer, and I did want to put that in. That's very important to my work experience, but I don't want to go back too many years. What comes next is your education, and if you have several degrees, you probably want to put the dates in. I don't want to put the dates in because there is a little bit of ageism out there, and I want to prevent that from happening. So I do only have 1 degree, so I'll put that, but otherwise it'll go in alphabetical order if you don't use the dates. Some volunteer experience and my skills. So there is a chance to add in 47 plus 3 top skills, so 50 altogether. And these top 3 will show, and someone would have to click to see more. And these top skills, you do want to get 99 plus endorsements. And how do you get those? Well, LinkedIn will ask your first level connections for endorsements. And what is an endorsement? It is just somebody who knows you, who you've connected with on LinkedIn, and agrees that these are the skills that you do have. And so you do want people to agree, and you want to endorse others as well. And then recommendations. Well, recommendations are written paragraphs by people that you may ask or that may do this on a volunteer basis. And I do have several. I'm going to click on view more recommendations, and I just want you to notice that as people write, they write maybe a very short or lengthy blurb, but typically it's just a paragraph or 2. And these people are here listed, Kathy and Michael and so forth. They are some great students that I've had over the years, and they've been very nice to write up in quick and short recommendation for me. They did it on their own, and so I'm thankful for that, but I also did ask a couple of my managers that I've had in the past. So as I scroll down, you'll see customers, clients, students. You'll see managers as well who have written about my work experience. Then I'll come down and there'll be some accomplishments, and your accomplishments can be your courses that you teach or that you take, the organizations that you belong to. You can also put in your test scores. You can put in if you have any honors or awards. You can also put in if your name is on any patents. So that information is considered accomplishments. And then the last section here on LinkedIn are your interests. And if I click though on See All, I do want you to see that these are some companies and some schools that I might follow. But if I do See All, you'll see them in different categories. For example, companies and groups and schools. Well, these are the companies that I might want to work for, and LinkedIn sees that I'm following them. And LinkedIn will also email me if they have a job opening that would suit me based on my profile. Groups are groups that I'd like to join, and therefore I get to have more opportunity to connect with people, and I also have an opportunity to share my knowledge with and learn from others as well, especially this Microsoft Excel users group. I just didn't join, but I also participate in, and it's a great way to learn new things from and also tell others maybe tips and tricks that you know as well. Schools, I will click on schools and notice Harvard and Salem and Tufts. These are some schools that I'm interested in and knowing what's happening there, and I may even want to teach at it, and so LinkedIn will notify me if they have a position open as well that would suit me based on my profile. So I'll close that. I'll go back up now. I'll scroll back up all the way up to the top. So where we started is, of course, my photo. Behind my photo, I've been able to put in a background photo, and that is something that you might want to do since I teach and I use computers to teach what my topics. I put in a picture of people sitting at computers. And then over here on the right, you can add some of those skills and some of those or ways to organize your LinkedIn profile right here for your news section. So here's your work experience and your education, and you'll also see volunteer and skills and accomplishments here, as well as scrolling down and seeing those there. The last thing you might want to do is edit your public profile. And one of the things that you do here is you edit your LinkedIn URL. And so everyone will get www.linkedin.com/in, and then you have 5 to 30 letters or numbers, and no spaces or special characters, but you do want to put at least your first and last name. I use Software Instructor Jan Romano, and that is my LinkedIn URL, and I'm going to put that on my resume, my cover letter, my business cards, and this is what people will see when they come and take a look at my LinkedIn profile, or if they Google me and find me on LinkedIn. Here's where I'm going to go back since I've logged in. Here's where I go back to edit. And remember, it's very simple in this 2017 interface. You have a pen, and you have very easily ways to hitting the plus sign and the pen to edit and to add. So that is just a quick overview of LinkedIn. Thanks for joining us on this little broadcast here, and I hope you learned a few new things and get yourself being an all-star. Next time that we meet, maybe I'll go over how to connect and maybe build a network. And then, of course, we want to also talk about how to use LinkedIn to search for a job. And then what is this homepage? So look for maybe a couple more broadcasts from this center and Jan Romano. All right, thanks. Have a good day.